Watching the sunset on the American Empire, chapter I don't know what the fuck this is. Our situation continues to degrade, and I figured here'd be a good place to do another update, because, like, I really do like having the sunset with the pretty tree and all that for you guys. And I'm getting to enjoy my new porch in Ghost Rider, which is just kind of bitching, really. Like, I've been playing around with where the mattress should be. There's a part of me that thinks I need at least some place to sit on the ass end of this thing. Because, like, it's nice to have a little cover. Anywho, the railroad strike thing. I think they ought to strike. I think they ought to strike for a couple fucking months. And I think people should get how bad it could be. I'm prepared for that. I've been prepared for that for about a year. I would like to get the last couple of things nailed down. I want to get my roof rack. I might see if I can do that rather than fucking pay off my ammo, if the dude will let me. Because, like, that's one of those things that, like, the thing that's going to suck with the railway strike is that there's not going to be anything shipped. I can explain that, but if it is shipped, it's going to be by truck and it's going to be expensive. So you need to think right now about everything you might want from fucking Amazon, China, any foreign country for sure. Anything that's not made where you fucking are. Get that shit. Like, this should have been on your priority for a long time, but, like, with a railway strike on it, like, this is why we prep. No shit. They're killing fucking chickens left and right still. Like, that's probably not good for us. The way I look at it, somebody crippled us in COVID, and now that same somebody is just turning the horse into the river or whatever. It's like turning it into the cliffside. Like, we're running it off a cliff. And that's plainly obvious that Joe Biden and his family have been paid to do so by somebody. Anyway, I'm not going to talk more about that, but that shit is in essence why we're watching the sunset. A lot quicker than we were 4 years ago, for damn sure. Like, honestly, I did not realize how quick we could go from growing to collapsing. You know, E. Honda was always like, are we watching the death of the Roman Empire? In COVID, no. We were weathering a storm. This shit that you're watching now, this is the death of the Roman Empire, bitch. We are, COVID was pestilence, right? Famine, war, and death are next. We are fixing to enter into famine. We're kind of verging on it. Like, this is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are riding. And the thing that you ought to get is that doesn't mean the world's going to go kaboom. Let's talk about what Revelations is about. Revelations is about the collapse and fall of the Roman Empire. And basically the church people seeing that was happening and that they wanted to survive it. And they wrote a letter in code, or John did, to his followers from prison. So you need to know that. You need to get that. That Revelation has bearing on our current situation, but it does not have bearing in that you should just give up because Jesus is coming back. Bitch, Jesus ain't coming for you. You're on your own. I hate to tell you that. You know, if he does come back for you, it won't be in a form that you'd fucking recognize. I think if Jesus was here and now, he would look and sound more like me than I would care to imagine. He'd be some outcast. You know, like on the fringes of society. As this bitch is going under. That's how I see it. We've made some moves now that are unavoidable. I think we're going to see a limited exchange of nukes in Europe eventually because of this. And I don't know where that ends. I think that's probably going to end up with us being at a new normal with the world, and it depends a lot on who wins what. With global warming going the way it is, Russia is becoming more and more habitable. At least, if you believe them, which, to be honest, the Russians are acting like this is true. And I have friends in Alaska that are pretty much saying the same thing. And I don't think this is global warming caused by fucking shit we're doing. I think, like, it's very complicated, but the stuff that they've done in the last year to 3 years with COVID, it has caused the planet's weather to go awry. Between that and the fact that they do legitimately, wait for this to pass, they do legitimately control aspects of the weather too. And I know that's hard to believe, but like, I think we've been using cloud seeding to cause more rain to fall on our crops and shit in the central United States for a long goddamn time. And I say that because I've read fucking mission reports and shit from teams in Vietnam that got sent to a grid coordinate in Cambodia or Laos or someplace and told to give a weather report. Let that sink in. They sent a 8-man team in just to give a goddamn weather report. What were they trying that they needed a weather report on the ground that bad? Not too many things they could have been trying that would have necessitated that in my mind. That's one of the reasons I say, if they were doing that in the 60s, who knows what they can do now. And, that's some conspiracy shit, right? Well, like, welcome to the world we live in. We're in the world of conspiracy shit. It looks like more of what Alex Jones ever said is true than I could ever have fucking believed, basically. I didn't really believe about the pedophile cult thing. Like, I kind of figured that there was some group of weirdos or whatever. No, I think that this is pretty much true. That, there's an evil cabal of pedophiles that runs the world. And right now, they think the world's overpopulated and starting to figure them out. And I think they think this whole World War III bullshit is going to distract us all. Not to mention the fact that basically, because of things done by Biden, the entire world is going to be going through a, economic / social / everything crisis. We're just going to have a worldwide crisis right now. And this is kind of in a nutshell what's going to bear the war. People in crisis do weird things, and people can be convinced to do much of anything, right? And the cycle that we've seen before was we get one really bad war, then a 20-year period, then another really bad war. I think we're in that cycle. I think we're about to watch that happen again, because I don't know who's going to get their ass kicked in this, but more than likely it's going to be us. Like, we're set up to lose World War III. If we lose World War III, a fascist state is going to form here. A military dictatorship that is focused on winning will be the result of that. I don't know who exactly is going to be in charge of that shit, but it ain't Joe Biden. And this is back to where, like, they own both sides, they play all sides, whatever. They don't really care who's in charge here as long as they own them. This is why they didn't like Trump, because, as shitty as Trump is, Trump's kind of like me. If they did try to buy him, he would probably laugh at them, would be my guess. It's one of those, like, what does he need? What does he need that he doesn't have? Okay? Like, for me, you could offer me shit that I legitimately didn't have. But, like, most things I would not take. Some things I would take, but I wouldn't have a purpose for. Like, I don't need a toilet made of solid gold or a fucking Sherman tank or some of the other shit that I would take. Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't take a Sherman tank. I want a Ferret. Ferret's like a British Recondo car kind of thing, set up with a dual machine gun turret. That's what I would want. And this is back to, like, I'm very practical. A lot of people will be like, give me the Sherman tank. I don't want no Sherman tank. I want a fucking Ferret with machine gun turret. Actually, it would be cool to have a machine gun turret and like a 37mm cannon. But I don't know if they can do that or not. The Ferrets are kind of small. It's a really small tank. I'm not saying I can't be bought. I can definitely be bought. But just most of the shit I want isn't that all that expensive, and I kind of figure I'm just going to buy it. And like that Ferret thing, that's not really a need. That's that's my version of a fucking 55-gallon drum of green peanut M&Ms. It's a ridiculous request. I just think it's less ridiculous than the Sherman tank. like, America's got some fucking serious growing pains coming that nobody's fucking even talking about. Like, I would imagine Matt and the boys probably are by this point, I would hope. But, like, the pain that I see in front of us is, ain't nobody gonna have money for nothing. And no one's used to living like that. I'm used to living like that. So this really doesn't bother me all that much, except for the fact that, like, what I do to make money usually is fix things for other people or make things for other people. So I'm going to probably have less money even than I normally do. Which is why, if you would like to support this show for only $5 a month on Patreon, I'll do whatever. I don't know. Like, I don't do much on Patreon, but if you message me on there, I will see it and I will message you back. And, like, let me know who you are, and I will talk to you on Instagram and shit, too. Like, I occasionally make a post there. I kind of figure that, like, it would be stupid to make some of these videos Patreon only. There's only, like, 5 of you guys over there. I like people watching my shit, so it's kind of like a tip jar. At the current moment, we get $25 a month to talk to you guys. It's fun. It's something to do. I kind of figure this is like, I don't know, I watch a bit of YouTube to get my news, and I filter through my own shit and decide what's important. And in general, most shit isn't important. If it is important, I'll make a video on it, maybe. Like, I don't make a video on everything important. You shouldn't watch me for your fucking news. Occasionally, I might know some international news way fucking before you guys. And that's because of the fucking Gangsta Network, basically. This is the, you know, the Brotherhood of the Sword runs through many countries, and I get news from all over the world that you guys might not get. I have a fellow friend in Japan, another one in Nepal, a couple in countries I'd rather not mention, to be honest. And half the reason that I like to keep in contact with those knife makers is because they see what's actually going on and interpret things in their news as to whether it's bullshit or true or not, and then filter it to me. And, like, occasionally they get weird shit, like that story about Xi Jinping being overthrown, which I don't know what the hell that was about. That was probably a failed coup that for whatever reason they didn't pick it up in the national news here. I don't know. I hope somebody values some of this. Like, right now, if I was still trying to prepare, fuck, man, I think I would get some staples. And I would also get, like, some arts and craft shit. And some fucking, like, tools. Like, if you don't have tools to make something, like, even if it's just, like I said, a wood chisels and wood burning set or something like that, get something to do some sort of a craft or art. Get better at it, and, like, you're gonna have a lot of time on your hands. And not a lot of money. So what are you going to do? Like, this is your question, right? And, like, this is back to why I'm buying DVDs. I'm cutting streaming services left and fucking right. I don't do Amazon Prime anymore. And that's one that I probably should, because I need to buy stuff off of there. But, like, fuck, I hate paying them money. I never watch any other fucking shit. I only watch the Lord of the Rings thing, which I'm going to watch the rest of that when they make it, too. I'm going to bitch about it, too. Like, right now, Disney Plus really doesn't do much for me. It's looking like it's going to get cut. And, you know, as soon as I ball up to do that, I will. But, like, I'm going to get a couple things on DVD that I like to watch off of Disney Plus first. But half of that is, I haven't been able to watch those on Disney Plus in fucking a year. I bitched about this before, but, like, I don't know, maybe I'll delete them off of my Amazon Fire TVs and see if that, you know, come back a month later and reload the app. But I've, like, deleted them, reloaded them, fucking cleared the whole fucking stick. I don't know. Like, it seems to me that there's a fucking conspiracy going on between fucking Amazon and Disney and Apple and a bunch of these places to lightly fuck with each other's shit so that it causes them to lose customers. We're seeing some pretty fucky shit go on. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if there were fucking hackers now being employed on a fucking corporate level because they can get away with it. They own the FBI. This is one of those, like, I always laughed when people talk to me about, well, online privacy and blah, 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 and they own the internet. They've always owned the internet. They built it. You ever thought you had privacy there? You never did. Like, yeah, I agree with you in principle that they shouldn't be able to do that shit. But they do it. And this is in a nutshell why, like, I upload shit to YouTube. And I, like, put stuff on Instagram. And I watch YouTube and Instagram. And now maybe Twitter. Other than that, I don't hardly interact with the internet. I use it for TV now, you know. But, like, to be honest, that's not even really, I don't know, I wouldn't consider that the internet, really. That's just a replacement for fucking cable that is better. I keep hanging out with people that live in a world that I left 20 years ago. And it's fucking weird to walk into a room that is like walking into the 1980s. And it's one of those that they don't realize what's going on. That's why they're still like that. Okay, maybe they're just striving to try to be happy. Okay, I think it's more than likely that they just don't have a fucking clue that any of this shit's happening. And they're going to wake up someday and, you know, with the rail strike, they're not going to get their Amazon packages, and they're not going to get their this, and they're not going to get their that, and, you know, we'll see where it is then. I don't know. I don't know how that world ends. I hope that ends for the better, though, because a lot of these people need to wake the fuck up. It's like just my opinion, right? But I feel like I occasionally plug into the Matrix for a bit myself. Definitely during COVID, playing video games with the boys, I kind of went full Matrix. I didn't care about anything else. I just focused on that. But there's so many people doing that like, they have their bills set to auto pay, and they have their thing that they focus on. Whether that's video games or whatever. And that's all that's what they do. They don't ever fucking peek their head out even to look around. Like, I go to doctor's offices and shit, and those people scare the fuck out of me because they really live in a different fucking reality than you. Okay? Like, they have just enough time to focus on their job and then maybe focus on some family stuff. Or they're a crazy person like me that obsesses over the news, but those are few and far between. I don't know, man. It seems like we are headed for one of the biggest fucking collapses in American fucking history. And most people act like that's not happening. Most people went into a shitload of credit card debt over the last 2 months. As someone that didn't, just have fun with that shit. You're not going to have money to pay it back. This is going to kill your credit. Like, they're going to come after your fucking house and shit. Like, you don't get how bad it can get. Like, the thing that I'm preparing to weather is basically ain't no money, ain't no jobs, ain't no nothing. You have the land that you're on and your small garden patch. That's how bad I think this is going to be for probably about a couple, 10 years maybe. Could go as long as 10 years. Like, we're in a period of economic distress, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, and it's going to last a long time. And it doesn't matter if there's a war or not now. In fact, the war, I think, would probably make things considerably worse for us for a while. If we win the war, it'll make things better. And this is why, in a nutshell, you can't afford to fucking be E-Honda anymore and be anti-war. They've put us in a position where we have to defend the empire. You can decide right now if you want to be in the American empire or in the Russian empire, because those are your fucking choices. Keep your powder dry.